Hello, my dear friends. How are you all? I hope you all are good and fantastic. So, my dear friends, you are very welcome in our lecture number 1, Introduction to Trigonometry. Okay, so I hope you will enjoy this lecture. Okay, and this lecture is going to be very amazing and interesting because this chapter is very important. What? Yes, this chapter is very important from the exam point of view. Okay, so you have to be listen very carefully. Okay, and you have to be concentrate for the chapter. Okay, so without wasting the time, let's start. Yes, so today we are going to discuss introduction to trigonometry, that what is trigonometry. Okay, and what is the history of trigonometry. Most important thing is that what is the history of trigonometry. Okay, and types of trigonometry. So these type of topics today we are going to discuss. Okay, yes. So what is trigonometry? So trigonometry is one of the important branch of history of mathematics that deals with the study of relationship between the sides and angles of a right angle triangle. So trigonometry is only applied in what triangle? In right angle triangle. In what triangle? Yes, right angle triangle. So what is right angle triangle? So right angle triangle is that triangle in which at least one angle is 90 degree. Okay, one angle is what? One angle should be 90 degree. So let's suppose this is a right angle triangle. Okay, this is a what? This is our 90 degree angle A, B, C. The 90 degree at B point. Okay, so this is a right angle triangle, and trigonometry just applied only in this triangle, right angle triangle. And in right angle triangle, one angle must be what? One angle must be 90 degree. So my dear friends, I hope you understand this concept. So this concept is given by Greek mathematician Hipparchus. Greek mathematician Hipparchus. So this concept is given by Greek mathematician, which named as this Hipparchus. Okay, so in mathematics, trigonometry has huge application in diverse fields. Okay, trigonometry has huge application. It has huge application in a lot of fields. Okay, so the branch called trigonometry basically deals with the study of the relationship between the sides and angles of the right angle triangle. Hence, it helps to find the missing or unknown angles or sides of a right triangle using the trigonometric formulas, functions, trigonometric identities. Okay, so in trigonometry, the angles can be either measured in degree or radians. Some of the most commonly used trigonometric angles for calculations are like 30 degree. These are the most common angles: 45 degree, 60 degree, and 90 degree. So these angles are very important and very common angles. Okay, with the help of these angles we are finding the sides. Okay, missing sides. Okay, so let's suppose we have angle, we know sides, and we don't know the other sides. So with the help of trigonometry we can easily find these sides. Okay, so this is a relationship between angles and sides. So in trigonometry we are going to discuss main ratios, what sine ratios, cosine ratios, etc. Okay, so these topic will be discussed in we will be discussing in the next lecture. Okay, so don't worry. So I hope you understand the concept of this trigonometry. Okay, so yes, now history of trigonometry. So let's talk about the history of trigonometry. So my dear friends, trigonometry developed from the needs to compute angles and distance in such a field as astronomy, map making, surveying, and artillery range findings. Okay, so the trigonometry is developed for the use of what, for the use of in the field of astronomy. Okay, map making, surveying, in all the field trigonometry has been used. And artillery range finding. Okay, so problems involving angles and distance in one planes are covered in plane trigonometry, which we will discuss later. Okay, so these type of there are some applications in their fields. Okay, so the history of trigonometry is that first of all we are talking about classical trigonometry. What is? Yeah, so first of all we are talking about classical trigonometry. Okay, so the word trigonometry comes from the Greek word trigonon, means triangle, and metron means to measure. Means Greek word trigonon means what? Means triangle, and the metron means to measure. Okay, so trigonon means triangle, metron means to measure, means it will become trigonometry. Trigonometry. So this will give triangle to measure, means trigonometry means in the sense what, we have to measure the sides of a triangle, angles of a triangle, and the relationship of the sides and angles. Okay, so I hope you understand this point. So the word trigonometry comes from what? Comes from Greek. Okay, the word trigonon means triangle and the metron means to measure. Okay, I hope you understand these things. Now until about the 16th century, trigonometry was chiefly concerned with computing the numerical values of the missing part of a triangle. Okay, or any shape that can be discussed into triangles. So when the values of other parts were given. Okay, for example, if the length of two sides of a triangle and the measure of enclosed angles are known, then the third sides and the two remaining angles can be calculated. Okay, so if we know what, if we know, let's suppose we have a right angle triangle like this. So if we know the two sides, let's suppose these two sides we have no, we are knowing. Okay, and one angle we know. Okay, so with the help of one angle, this is 90 degree is already unknown. Okay, let's suppose from these two angles one angle we have known. Okay, so with the help of these sides and angles, we can easily find the remaining these angles and the other sides. Okay, I hope you get this point. So if the length of the two sides of a triangle and the measure of the enclosed angles are known, the third sides and the two remaining angles can be calculated. Okay, such calculation distinguish trigonometry from geometry. Okay, such calculations what? Such calculations distinguish trigonometry from geometry, which mainly investigates qualitative relationship. Okay, my dear friends, so I hope you understand these points. So this is the classical trigonometry. Okay, so this distinction is not always absolute, like the Pythagoras theorem, for example, because the Pythagoras theorem is a statement about the length of the three sides in right triangle. Pythagoras theorem is what? Pythagoras theorem is simple: hypotenuse square is equals to base square plus perpendicular square. Okay, okay, this is a simple statement of the three sides in a right triangle and is quantitative in nature. Okay, still in its original form, trigonometry was by and large an offspring of geometry. Okay, it was not until the 16th century that the two become separate branch of mathematics. So trigonometry and geometry is a separate branches of the mathematics, so we cannot combine it as. Okay, so both the trigonometry and geometry seems to be like related to each other, but of course they are not the same. Okay, so because the trigonometry is a subset of geometry that deals with the properties of one of the shapes in geometry, which is called what? Which is called triangles. Okay, so I hope, my dear friends, you understand these things. Okay, so now let's move on. Now the next part is second part of his trigonometric history is ancient Egypt and the Mediterranean world. Okay, so several ancient civilizations, in particular like Egyptian, Babylonian, Hindu, and Chinese, possessed a considerable knowledge of practical geometry, including some concepts that were a prelude to trigonometry. Okay, and the Egyptians have a great knowledge about the slope of an incline, which is essential knowledge for the huge construction projects such as pyramids. Okay, so if a pyramid, it is a 250 cubes high, and the side of its base is 360 cubic long. Okay, so this is the knowledge. If the knowledge of you have a trigonometry, then you can find you can also find the like this structure. Okay, so the knowledge of trigonometry is very important. With the help of these, Egyptians built a very huge pyramid. Okay, my dear friends. So we can say that Egyptians has at least some knowledge of the numerical relations in the triangle, a kind of proto-trigonometry. Okay, so now the trigonometry in the modern age. Okay, in the modern world, it is began with the Greeks approach. It is began with the in modern sense. It is began with the Greek mathematician what? Hipparchus. Okay, from 1900 to 120 BCE. Okay, so it is was the first to construct a table of values for the trigonometric function. He considered every triangle, planar or spherical, okay, as a being inscribed in a circle, so that each side becomes a chord, that is a straight line that connects 2 points on a curved or surface, okay, which is shown by the what? Which is shown by the inscribed triangle like this. Okay, and inscribed triangle, like let's suppose we have a circle and a triangle is mad like this. This is passing through the, this is the combination of chords, okay. So these are the what? These are given by the Greeks mathematician Hipparchus. Okay, so my dear friends, so this is the history of the trigonometry. So I hope you understand this point. So now we are going to discuss about the different types of trigonometry. So there are two different types of trigonometry. Okay, so first is plane trigonometry and the second is what? Spherical trigonometry. Plane trigonometry and spherical trigonometry. Okay, so let's see that what is plane trigonometry and spherical trigonometry. So the plane trigonometry is the trigonometry which we are used as usual. Okay, so in many applications of trigonometry, the essential problems is the solution is triangle. Okay, so if enough sides and angles are known, the remaining parts and angles as well as area can be calculated in plane trigonometry. It is like as same as we are using like this trigonometry, like this is our right angle triangle. Okay, and uh, if we are named as this is A, B, C, and this is sides A, B, C. Okay, so this is a simple plane trigonometry, which is in which there is a triangle, right angle triangle, and with the help of trigonometric ratios, with the help of these ratios, like sine ratios, cosine ratios, tangent ratios. Okay, so with the help of these ratios, we can find the sides and angles of unknown sides and angles. Okay, so I hope you understand these things. So the laws of sines is expressed as an equality involving three sine functions. Okay, while the laws of cosines is an identification of the cosine with the algebraic expression formed from the length of sides opposite to corresponding angles. Okay, so now let's move on the second trigonometry, spherical trigonometry. What is? Yes, what is spherical trigonometry? So spherical trigonometry involves the study of spherical triangle. Okay, what is spherical triangle? So the triangle which are formed by the intersection of three great circle arcs, okay, on the sphere, on the surface of a sphere. Okay, like this. If you see this, if you observe this is our spherical trigonometry, spherical triangles. Okay, so the study of these spherical triangles is called the spherical trigonometry. I hope you get this point. And what is spherical trigonometry? Which are formed by the intersecting of three great circular arcs on the surface of sphere. So spherical triangles were subject to intense study from the ancient ages of their usefulness in navigation, cartography, and astronomy. Okay, so the angle of spherical triangle are defined by the angle of intersecting of the corresponding tangent line to the vertex. Okay, to each vertex. So these are the angles alpha, beta, gamma. Okay, so this is our spherical triangle. This is our spherical triangle. So my dear friends, this is enough for today, and we will meet in the next lecture with the amazing topics. Okay, so thank you very much guys for listening me. and take care and goodbye.